I got pregnant as a result of an affair and now his wife is reaching out to me. I had an affair with a married man a few years ago. I had no clue he was married when we first met and hooked up. I had looked him up on social media, and while he did have photos of his kids on there was absolutely no mention or photos of a wife at all. I found out that he was married about a month after we first got together, but he told me it was just a marriage on paper and that they basically lived separate lives and only agreed to remain married for practical purposes until the kids were older. At the time, I knew that I probably shouldn't believe him, but I convinced myself that he was telling the truth. I was in my early 20s and infatuated with him because he made me feel so good. I know now that I was naive and should have ended it immediately, but I didn't realize at the time what I was getting myself into. I got pregnant about a year into seeing him. I had always been so careful with preventing pregnancy, but during my relationship with him I took stupid risks because I was so high in lust with this guy. I'd say yes to almost anything he asked me to do, even when I knew it was a bad idea. I thought I was in love with him. I would dream about being his wife and having a family, but I knew that wouldn't be a possibility while he still had an arrangement with his actual wife. I didn't intentionally try to get pregnant, but I admit I was excited when I found out I was pregnant with his baby. The thought of carrying the child of the man I loved was so special to me, but I knew he probably wouldn't feel the same. I told him I was pregnant and he told me I couldn't keep the baby. I expected this reaction, but I was devastated and it hurt me to my core that he didn't feel the same way that I did. He offered to pay for the termination and to take me somewhere exciting and buy me something special if I got rid of the baby. He explained that he didn't want any more kids and that he couldn't openly be a father to another child when he and his wife were still pretending to be happily married to the outside world. I agreed to do what he wanted, and we made plans for him to pick me up and find somewhere out of town to go get it done. I was all packed the night he was going to pick me up, but I started to feel scared and unsure about the whole thing. I decided I didn't want to give up the baby, and told him the plan was off. I told him that I swore I would never contact him again and never name him as the father or go after child support if he'd promised to leave me alone as well. At first, he tried to sweet-talk me into doing what he wanted, but when I didn't cave in, he said some very nasty things to me and told me that I better never contact him again or show up at his door. The baby is 2 years old now, and I have since moved back in with my family hundreds of miles away. At times, it's been difficult, but overall we are thriving as best we can. I have kept my word about not naming him as the father or requesting child support, but his now ex-wife recently contacted me on social media. She told me she found out about me and that she divorced him 6 months ago. She wants our children to be able to know each other since they are siblings, but I find it a bit weird and suspicious. If she is being genuine, I wonder if I'm being selfish by not exploring an option for my child to know his siblings. I haven't responded back to her yet, and I am unsure about how to approach this,